Greetings and shalom, mishpacha. Thank you so much for tuning in to this very troubling, yet for me, exciting news. So, after this, family, I will be discussing this very relevant topic. World War III has been declared. We are truly in the last days, people.
Your shadow covers me, your promise of love, where my heart is safely undone. Speak to me, Lord, your servant is listening. Over the noise, I hear you whispering, my hope has come. And my heart is safely undone. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with
Family, we are now in World War III. World War III has been declared by Pope Francis. On May 28, 2022, a Donetsk People's Republic militia multi-rocket launcher fires from its position not far from Pantelemonivka in territory under the government of Donetsk People's Republic, eastern Ukraine. World War III has been declared. Pope Francis sighed in a wide-ranging conversation with the editors of European Jesuit publications on May 19th, referring to Russia's attack against Ukraine. The conversation was published by the Italian Jesuit publication La Salvita Cattolica and the secular newspaper La Stampa on June 14th, and is sure to spark discussion. The world is at war, he said. For me, today, World War III has been declared. This is something that should give us pause for thought. What is happening to humanity that we have had 3 world wars in a century? Francis spoke about the complex background to the war in Ukraine and the interests involved, including those of arms manufacturers. He denounced the brutality and ferocity of the Russian troops and praised the heroism and courage of the Ukrainians. At the same time, he said, we do not see the whole drama behind the war, which was perhaps somehow either provoked or not prevented. For me, For me, today, World War III has been declared. This is something that should give us pause for thought. What is happening to humanity? That we have had 3 world wars in a century. And you guys should see how the quotation marks, they just look like big old 6s. Family, remember that it said in the last days there will be wars and rumors of wars. Remember also that the Bible speaks about the war of Gog and Magog. Now, I've been in the book of Enoch as of late, and it really breaks this all down for you in detail, so you do understand the governing principalities that are really at war behind this war, family. Okay? So anyway, the Pope has faced criticism for not calling on the Russian president by name or for suggesting that perhaps NATO may provoke the war by barking at the gates of Russia. But in the new interview, the Pope said he was quoting what one head of state had told him. Even so, Francis denied that he is pro-Putin. I'm simply against reducing complexity to the distinction between good guys and bad guys without reasoning about roots and interests, which are complex, he said. While we see the ferocity and cruelty of Russian troops, we must not forget real problems if we want them to be solved. A Jesuit editor from Eastern Europe noted that we are living through a war of attention and write about it in our journals, and asked the Pope, what are your suggestions for communicating the situation in which we are living? How can we contribute to a peaceful future? To answer this question, we have to move away from the normal pattern of Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood was good, and the wolf was the bad guy, Francis responded. Here, there is no metaphysical good guys and bad guys. In an abstract sense, something global is emerging with elements that are very much intertwined. Oh boy, do you guys really hear through this? Huh? Do you really hear? Oi. Again, the 6s. These quotation marks, they don't look like normal quotation marks. Oi. Do you guys see what's happening here? I am simply against reducing complexity to the distinction between good guys and bad guys without reasoning about roots and interests, which are complex. The Pope said, roots and interests. He doesn't want to make a distinction between good guys and bad guys. They're all necessary, huh? They're all in this together, huh? They're all one that can reason this out because this is a global thing, huh? Regarding his comments about NATO's role in precipitating the war, the Pope revealed that a couple of months before the war started, I met a head of state, a wise man who speaks very little, very wise indeed. After he talked about the things he wanted to talk about, he told me that he was very concerned about the way NATO was moving. I asked him why, and he said, they are barking at the gates of Russia. They do not understand that the Russians are imperialists and will allow no foreign power to approach them. He included the situation could lead to war. This was his opinion on February 24th. The war began. That head of state was able to read the signs of what was taking place. Referring to the ongoing war, Francis said, what we are seeing is the brutality and ferocity with which this war is being carried out by the troops, generally mercenaries, used by the Russians. The Russians preferred to send Chechen and Syrian mercenaries, But the danger is that we only see this, which is monstrous, and we do not see the whole drama unfolding behind this war. You guys, please, I encourage you to visit my channel on YouTube. Go to Malaka Batyah, to the Remnant on YouTube. That is Malakah, Batyah, Batyah, to the Remnant. Okay, and I explain what is really behind this war, which perhaps somehow either provoked or not prevented, he continued. And note the interest in testing the selling weapons, in testing and selling weapons. So I'm sorry, as I'm looking at this article, you literally see these bold-faced sixes all through this. Family, how do you feel about Pope Francis? You guys can visit me on social media if you already have my pages, okay? And you guys have my pages. Y'all got y'all sister stuff. Inbox me, talk to me, email me, tell me what you think about the Pope. It is very sad, but at the end of the day, that is what is at stake. Hear this again. The Russians thought it would all be over in a week, but they miscalculated. They encountered a brave people, a people who are struggling to survive and who have a history of struggle. The Russians thought it would be all over in a week, Pope Francis recalled. But they miscalculated. They encountered a brave people, a people who were struggling to strive and who have a history of struggle. He went on to speak about the responses in Europe and elsewhere to the terrible suffering of 44 million people of Ukraine, over 25% of whom have been forced to leave their homes and become either internally displaced or refugees. Everyone opens their hearts to the refugees, the Ukrainian exiles, who are usually women and children, the Pope said. The men are left to fight. He recalled that the general audience in St. Peter's Square the previous week, 2 wives of Ukrainian soldiers who were in the, Azov Azovstal steelworks come to ask me to intercede for them to be saved. They are women with children whose husbands are fighting over their young, beautiful women. They went to the Pope that they may be saved, guys. So, clearly, these people do not know Yahshar'al. They know Pope Francis. We are all very sensitive to these dramatic situations, Francis said. But I ask myself, what will happen when the enthusiasm to help passes? Because things are cooling down, and who will then take care of these women? We need to look beyond the concrete action of the moment and see how we will support them so that they do not fall into trafficking, are not abused because the vultures are already circling. As history shows, he said, Ukraine is an expert in suffering slavery and war. It is a rich country that has always been cut up, torn apart by the will of those who want to take it over and exploit it. It is as if history has predisposed Ukraine to be a heroic country. Seeing this heroism touches our hearts. He praised the heroism of Ukraine. Brave women, brave people, a people not afraid to fight, a people hardworking, and at the same time proud of their land. We keep in mind the Ukrainian identity at this time. The Ukrainian identity. What is the Ukrainian identity? Family. Pope Francis said that they are a brave people, a people not afraid to fight, a people hardworking and at the same time proud of their land. I know another people that are proud of their land, but are no longer in their land. I know the people that have been forced out of their land and moved into trafficking and abuse and slavery. They were a hardworking, prideful people too. This is what moves us to see such heroism. But he said, what is before our eyes is a situation of world war, global interests, arms sales, and geopolitical appropriation, which is martyring a heroic people. He reminded the European Jesuit as editors that our sensibility is touched because Ukraine is so close to us. We see what is happening there. But he said there are also conflicts in other countries far away, such as in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Nigeria, Myanmar, and nobody cares. He recalled that some years ago he had said, we are living the Third World War piece by piece. But now he told the Jesuit editors, the world is at war. I would like your journals to deal with the human side of war, the Pope said. I would like you to show the human drama of war. It is all very well to make a geopolitical calculation, to study things in depth. You must do so because that is your duty. Reflecting on this would help humanity and the church a great deal, he continued. Make your socio-political reflections without, however, neglecting human reflection on war. Pope Francis also recalled that he had a 40-minute conversation with the Russian Patriarch Kirill on March 16th. He revealed that in the first part of their virtual conversation, the Patriarch read me a declaration in which he gave reasons justifying the war. When he finished, I intervened and told him, brother, We are not clerics of state. We are pastors of the people, Francis said. The Pope recalled that he was scheduled to meet him again on June 14th in Yahshar'al to talk about our shared issues. But given the war in Ukraine, he said, by mutual agreement, we decided to postpone the meeting to a later date so that our dialogue would not be misunderstood. Francis said that he hopes to meet him at a General Assembly of Leaders, World Religions in Kazakhstan. In Kazakhstan, sorry. I don't know where I saw an M at. There's no M. In Kazakhstan in September. I hope to be able to greet him and speak a little with him as a pastor, he said. On the same day, the interview was published on June 14th. Pope Francis went a step further on his analysis of Russia's war against Ukraine on the 110th day of the war. He did so in his message for the 6th World Day of the Poor. The 6th World Day of the Poor. After speaking about the coronavirus pandemic, he said that a new catastrophe has appeared on the horizon, destined to impose on our world a very different scenario. The war in Ukraine has now been added to the to the regional wars. My bad. That was just, an accident. To the regional wars that for years have taken a heavy toll of death and destruction. Yet, here the situation is even more complex due to the direct intervention of a superpower aimed at imposing its own will in violation of the principle of self-determination of peoples. Tragic scenarios are being reenacted, the Pope said. And once more, reciprocal extirpate. How's this word? Extortionate. Sorry. Oh my goodness. It's early. Extortionate demands, reciprocal extortionate demands, made a few new potentates are stifling the voice of a humanity that cries out for peace. Family, if nothing else, let us give you food for thought this morning. And man, stay prayed up. Hop up on YouTube. Check your sister out, Malaka Batyah to the Remnant. And let's understand who's really behind these wars. Thank you so much for listening. I love y'all. Yo, listen. Stay prayed up. Be vigilant. And remember, Messiah is coming. Trouble won't last always. Although we are in the times of Jacob's trouble, be encouraged. For only with our eyes will we see the reward of the wicked. Judgment is upon the land, family, but Yahshar'al shall be redeemed.